So hello my dear friends, welcome back. Welcome to your channel Cooking Astrology. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for subscribing my channel and liking my videos. Thanks a lot. So today in this video, let's try to understand the fifth house of the Dashamsha chart in Vedic Astrology and what are the significance and associations which you can specifically see through this fifth house with regards to the career, business and even the monetary aspect into your own life. The very first thing, fifth house of the D10 chart in Vedic Astrology represents the entrepreneurial spirit which is present inside you. If you want to check or see whether throughout your life at some point you have that capacity or tendency present inside you to work into the startup, open up a startup or doing a business, so fifth house is going to play a very important role in that regards. Secondly, the kind of subordinates which are working with you. Suppose you are doing a 9-to-5 job, so the team in which you are working basically, or the subordinates which are working with you, whether they are going to be supportive or they are not going to be very supportive, in order to check whether some office politics will going to ruin my career or not. So that part is also dependent over the fifth house. Even in order to check from the business standpoint of view, employee retention is dependent over the condition and dignity of fifth house. Suppose you are running a $1 million business, maybe one pharmaceutical company or maybe one restaurant, hospitality sector business. So suppose you require 50, 100, 200 employees. So whether you will be able to retain some employees for longer duration of time or not, it's totally dependent over your fifth house. Many times, if the dignity and condition of the fifth house is weak, specifically fifth house lord, and even planets that are sitting in the fifth house, you will face the major challenge in the business aspect, specifically if you are working with a lot of employees actually. On the other hand, if you are working over the sole and independent manner, like you are not working in a team, you are only self-employed. So self-employment is also dependent over the fifth house. Even how well you are going to be in creating the trustworthiness and the reliability factor in your job or in the business environment. So that trustworthiness is also dependent over the fifth house. Even in order to check your own influence in the career environment or in the job market. Like suppose you are working in one organization, maybe at a very middle level, like not very low or not very high. So how well you are going to be gelling with the individuals which are sitting in the top level. So your own relation specifically with your top boss. I'm not talking about the immediate boss. I'm talking about the top person of any organization. We are not talking about owner here. I'm talking about the CEO, suppose of any company, and you are working at a junior position or maybe at a manager position. So manager, senior manager, then suppose COO, CTO and CEO. So your relation wherever you are working in a corporation with that top level boss is also dependent over this fifth house. Because I have seen many interesting things with regards to this fifth house of the D10 chart. People that are working even in a very middle level, they have the capacity to rise high and specifically influence the major decisions and the policy shaping of any organization. So this is dependent over the condition of your fifth house, because this is also the house which in the D1 chart also it particularly governs the supreme intelligence, or it's your intellectual capability. So it represents that mathematical skills or that intellectual skills present inside you to solve some critical situations. This is also the house which particularly represents how well you are going to be working under pressure or in order to meet certain deadlines basically. Now deadlines are in every environment. Maybe you work in a bank environment, or suppose you need to sell 10 insurances by the end of this month. So it's going to be creating that pressurizing situation. So in order to check how well you are going to be handling or meeting the deadlines under pressure is dependent over the fifth house. That is also the number one reason in order for you to check and predict when the job change will happen or what are the circumstances which will create job change. Like whether I'm going to be giving my own consent, like you are giving your resignation and that's it. Whether the company is terminating you, like they are giving you termination letter, like you are fired now, or what are the circumstances which will responsible for the job change, is also dependent over the 5th house. Many a times what will happen, suppose as I told you, this is the house which represents working in a team. So suppose your subordinates or the individuals that are working with you, they start quitting their jobs. So what will happen? The unnecessary burden of all these people, they will also come towards you. So this might also going to be becoming the reason for you to quit your job actually. Okay, so whether it's going to be you are quitting yourself with your consent, termination will happen, or maybe some other parameters like policy restructure in the company. Maybe suppose because of artificial intelligence which is coming, company no longer want to require the manpower, they just want to automate, and everything will going to be done with the help of robotics, machine learning and other chatbots. So that is also totally dependent over the 5th house. This is also the house which represents the technological advancement of any business, specifically the research and development center. So if for example your 5th house is going to be pretty strong, or planets in the 5th house are very strong, then there are going to be a great chances for you to moving into the research and development areas in your own life. From the business standpoint of view, your expertise in the R&D sector is also dependent over your 5th house. Expertise mean like how well you are going to be creating a unique product or unique service in the market, which is like as of now suppose have not existed. This is because is the house of creation. It's not copying from other people. Okay, many people, even many other companies, they're trying to copy the work structure of other things. This is not a copying house. If your 5th house is very strong, you can easily see like I'm not good at copying, but I'm very good at creating my own content or some such values. So how well you are going to be creating that successful adventures is dependent over the 5th house. Apart from this thing, in a partnership kind of a role, suppose you are doing a partnership business 50-50 with 2 people, or maybe multiple partners are going to be there. So this is also the house which represent in the time of difficulty how well you are going to be managing with your business partners here. Because business partners, if they quit, it's also going to be creating excess load in the business environment. So that is also dependent over the 5th house. Even for example, you are working in a top condition, and I will tell you out of 100%, 75% chances are going to be there. With the strong 5th house, either you are going to be self-employment, business person, or maybe working in an organization, you are going to be at top level with strong 5th house. Now, for example, now company is asking you to do the shredding of the workers. You need to fire them. So it also represents your emotionless approach actually. In order for you to do such activities, that is also dependent over the 5th house. Even how well you are going to be handling the politics. 4th house of the D10 I told you, it represents the political environment which you are going to be facing. So how capable you are going to be in doing politics or handling politics. I'm not here saying not all the individuals they are like bad with politics. Some are very good with politics also. So if you want to see the individuals that are good with politics, office politics, and they are gaining out of that office politics, they are going to be having a pretty strong 5th house. And that is the reason out of all the 12 houses of this D10 chart, 5th house is also going to play a very significant role. Along with you also need to check the condition of the 10th house lord. Now 10th house lord of not the D10 chart. You need to open both D1 and D10 chart on simultaneous basis. D1 is your natal birth chart and D10 is the Dashmansh chart. Now in the D1 chart, pick the 10th lord, the planet controlling your 10th house in the natal chart, and then study it in the D10 chart, where it is going actually, what is its condition, dignity, even the Raj yogas or some wealth giving yogas that are formed with the help of this planet. Because this planet is the key factor in the career. Okay, if your 10th house lord of the D1 is automatically well positioned in this D10 chart, and your Saturn is also very well dignified along with Mercury, it means you are going to be having a pretty strong D10 chart actually. You can also study by looking into your own career. You can observe your own career. like how my career trajectory is going from past 5 years, whether I've done some progression or whether I'm hitting a steep down. So this fifth house will going to indicate all these parameters. Even one very important point, fifth house also represents your survival chances. Survival mean like, because I'm actually using the word survival here, because survival instinct is also coming through this fifth house. So it also shows up to what extent you have the capacity to go to survive in one particular market or in one particular business. And that is also the reason many successful people, they are having very strong fifth house, because it's not like that every person is going to be having a very smooth career. And nowadays with changing times, careers are also going to be changing. There is no use of your degree, and these things are going to be playing in the career market. But if you are going to be having a strong fifth house or good survival factor, then you have the capacity to survive in the down times also. Because when the downtime come, what will happen? The people, they tend to quit during that time frame actually. So it's like that even no matter what kind of worst circumstances are going to be there, still you are fighting. So that fighting spirit, that survival spirit is also dependent over fifth house. Because in the 21st century, job is also one form of a battle. That is the reason Mars is exalted in the sign of Capricorn, because Mars represents the sheer willpower. It represents the will or that enthusiasm in order for you to fight actually. So that fighting spirit and your survival spirit is dependent over the fifth house. I will also tell you, if you are having a very good fifth house of the D10 chart, the fifth house lord is well dignified and planets in the fifth house is very well dignified, you are going to be having pretty good chances of becoming successful in this 21st century. So I hope you have gained some deep insights in this particular video with me. If you are having any queries and consultations with regards to your Dashmansh Kundli, the career, business, or maybe marriage or any other consultation, so don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Vedic Astrology cover a variety of areas including career, business, spirituality, and childbirth and other things also. So do let me know if you require any help from my side. And also make sure to subscribe my channel below, hit the like button if you really enjoyed this video. And I'm going to meet you very, very soon in the next video. Till then, bye-bye and Hare Krishna.